Today we're going to be cooking broccoli rabe. Broccoli rabe, rotini pasta, and great northern beans. Great dish. Stay tuned.
This show is brought to you by
video magazine on MakesMeMeet.net. We're going to have some really cool segments coming up, and I hope you all enjoy them. Some very special guest stars.
Today's recipe is going to be broccoli rabe with pasta and white beans. Now those white beans could be great northern beans or cannellini beans, but any white bean will do. The first thing we're going to do today is we're going to look at our broccoli rabe. Broccoli rabe is a long, thin stalk that has some leaves surrounded by it. It is highly used in Italian and Chinese cuisine, and it has a little bit of a bitter aftertaste, but still very delicious. And I'm going to show you how to prep the broccoli rabe. Just take the leaves, and we just break the leaves off. Okay. Break as much of the leaves off. And you see that there's a floret very similar to a broccoli. Now the reason we do this is because the leaves are very tender and they're going to cook a lot faster than this stalk here. So we start the stalks off first and then we add the leaves later. Let's take a look at the ingredients today for our recipe. We have rotini pasta. This pasta is already cooked and you could do that ahead of time, and we're going to use that in our dish a little bit later. White beans, chicken stock, Parmesan cheese, kosher salt, freshly minced garlic, and red pepper flakes, along with a little bit of freshly ground black pepper and olive oil. So when I prepare broccoli rabe, I usually have to get a little bit of boiling water. Okay, so you get boiling water on the stove, and you can put a little bit of salt in it. You're going to take your broccoli rabe and you're going to plunge it directly into that boiling water. Okay? And it will only stay there for a couple of minutes, not too long. And then you're going to take it out and you're going to plunge it directly into cold ice water. And what we want to do that for is because we want to stop the cooking process. If we don't stop the cooking process, it's going to get all mushy, and we don't want that. So we want to take care of our broccoli rabe. After you do all of that, it's going to come out looking like this. You can see it's wilted a little bit. It still has a little bit of a bite to it, but it is absolutely amazing, and we're going to cook this and make a great dish. So let's take half of this broccoli rabe, because we're going to do another recipe a little bit later on. And this is going to be our broccoli rabe and rotini pasta and white bean dish. So I'm going to pour a couple tablespoons of oil, and you can start to see that there's little striations in the oil. That means that the pan is getting very hot. And what we could do then is we're going to add our clove of chopped garlic, and we'll start to render that. And then we're going to take our red peppers, dried red pepper flakes, and this is going to add a little bit of heat. You can have more or less if you'd like. Okay, we'll mix that up. You can start to see that the red pepper is starting to flavor our oil a bit. Okay. And then at this point, we're going to add our chicken stock. Okay, we'll add our chicken stock. And we're also going to add our white beans. The white beans go in. We're going to bring this to a boil. So now let's prepare our broccoli rabe. Take your knife, and we're going to cut about 2 to 3 inch pieces. Okay, and then these are already in segments, so you can break them up just a touch. Now that our pot is boiling, we can add our broccoli rabe. And also add a little bit of salt, because we hadn't seasoned yet, but we want to season. Okay, a little bit of salt. And some fresh cracked black pepper. So now that our pot is boiling and we've added our broccoli rabe, we're going to add some nice whole wheat pasta. Now you don't have to use the whole wheat rotini. You can just use regular straight pasta. And there's other pastas out there that are rice based and have specialty grains added to them. But we're going to add this to our pan. And we'll just mix it up just a touch. And we'll let the pasta absorb the rest of those nice juices in there. The garlic and the flavor of the broccoli rabe will all intermingle. And this is a great, great dish. This is probably one of my favorite dishes. I like to sit in front of the TV set and just eat. Okay, we'll let that sit, put a lid on it, and it'll cook for another 2 to 3 minutes longer, and it's going to be complete. So it's been about 3 minutes or so, and our broccoli rabe pasta and beans are fully cooked at this point. Again, this is one of my favorite meals. We're going to plate it up in this bowl here that we have in the front. This should feed about 4 people. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And there you have it. Broccoli rabe, rotini pasta, and white beans. I hope you enjoy it. The printed recipe is at the bottom of the page. In this episode, we're going to go see Chef Dan at the Purple Iris. Can't wait to see what he has in store for us today. It should be delicious.